Yay! So, I wanted to talk about fashion, clothes, and how we all need to stop being dedicated followers of fashion because it's not good for the world, the environment, and everything. So, yeah, the kind of whole throwaway fashion thing I think really needs to stop. And people may be thinking that I'm a hypocrite because I do seem to have a lot of clothes. I know I wear a lot of different things, and I do own a lot of clothes that I've collected over the years, but actually the majority of them really are from charity shops and secondhand shops and like retro places, and so not many of them are new at all. But this dress actually was, it still had the labels on, but it was honestly in a charity shop for £1.50, and it's 100% silk, and I got it for a wedding. And I've never ever had so many compliments, and a lot of them are off people I didn't even know. So you know that's a real compliment when it's off someone you don't even know, because they don't feel obliged to have to say anything, do they? You know, it's just so yeah. I'm really pleased with that. But yeah, it's sad really that so many nice clothes do end up in charity shops. But you know, it's good for people like me. But I think more and more people just need to swap clothes and you know, wear things for longer, because people aren't wearing things for long enough, and it seems like people are maybe just buying things for the sake of it, you know, and they don't even end up wearing them because, like I say, a lot of them even still have the labels on, or you can tell they've just hardly been worn, you know, and that's, yeah, kind of a shame really. And apparently 80% of our clothes actually end up in landfill, so that's a shocking kind of figure, isn't it? So you know, when people do give clothes to, you know, these clothes, big clothes banks and stuff, they think, oh, well, at least they're going to some, you know, poor country somewhere. But I think a lot of them actually just don't want them, or they just, you know, for whatever reason, they end up in landfill anyway. So we need to have more quality things which last for longer, because that's the other thing it seems like a lot of people are saying, and it is true, you know, older people always say this: things used to be made to last and now they're not, they're rarely made to last now, you know. So we need to get back to that, buying, you know, quality over quantity and making things work for longer, you know. And with the whole fashion thing, you know, you realise as you get older it's just such a farce really, because they're just, you know, regurgitating the same old things, and they always seem to leave it just long enough as well. So like, I'm always like, oh my god, I had a dress like that, you know, but I kind of got rid of it, or you know, I try not to get rid of things really, but you have to sometimes, and then they always wait just long enough, you know, so then you have to kind of like, you know, buy it again, like, oh, now the 80s are in again, we'll buy 80s things. I never liked the 80s the first time around, but they always seem to be bringing it back, you know. And yeah, so it's just regurgitating things basically, and you know, trying to dictate as well what we should wear, you know, and what you know we should be buying, and that needs to stop, you know, because people should know what they want to wear, you know, what suits them. They shouldn't need to have to look in magazines. You know, like I've always liked the kind of 1920s and that kind of era, and the 60s, you know, and that's never changed for me. You know, I've always quite ignored the kind of fashion trends really. I tend to just, you know, choose what I like, which is normally the kind of sparkly things, the bright colours and the kind of girly things, you know, that's what I've always liked really. But, you know, some people are very, very dictated by, you know, what's in style, and oh, I can't wear that anymore, it's not in fashion. And even though, you know, they might really like it and it suits them, they're just going to throw it away or get rid of it just because it's not in fashion. Well, that attitude needs to really shift, you know, and the fashion industry itself, it's just, again, it's just part of the capitalist, you know, consumer machine, which is just churning things out all the time, and that pressure to buy and look good, you know. And I just don't think you have to spend lots of money to look good, you know. Like I say, this was £1.50, and I've never had so many compliments, and I've got loads of other dresses like that. Pretty much all the stuff you see me wear is like, none of it's really ever cost more than £10, you know. I think the most expensive thing, that the long blue dress that I wore in one video, which is like a ball gown almost, you know, it probably was, I'd imagine someone's prom dress, that's what I'm imagining it probably was. That was £10, that's what I paid. I'm sure whoever's prom dress it was, their poor parents probably paid an absolute fortune. And there was a funny comment the other day actually that somebody did say, I kind of thought it's quite a good point, that a lot of these teenagers that are all complaining about the environment are the same teenagers that are like, you know, wanting £1,000 prom dress and to go in the limos and, you know, all of this kind of extravagant stuff that they insist on having, when really, you know, it's totally unnecessary, and, you know, they don't need to spend so much on all of that stuff. They could still have a nice time, you know, without all of that. So, and designer labels, I've always detested designer labels, and it really winds me up because I've never really had any designer labels, because I just really feel like the designs aren't particularly nice, usually anyway, and you're purely just paying for the label, you know, and that's it. You may as well, it's just a way of saying I've got tons of money, basically. That's all it is, you know. Like these designer handbags, you know, I think some of them are really quite disgusting and very vulgar, and they've just often got just the like, you know, whatever it is. I don't advertise any one thing, but just like the symbol of whatever designer it is, just plastered all over them, you know, like a stamp. You may as well just get, like, you know, £1,000 worth of £20 notes and just glue them onto a bag, you know. That's pretty much what you're saying. You're just saying, I can afford to have £1,000 handbag. Aren't I great? And I think, well, no, you're not really. You're just a bit stupid. And you probably put it on your credit card anyway, so you're actually a bit of an idiot. And also, if you've got a really expensive bag, then don't be surprised if it gets stolen. Because, you know, if people think you can afford a bag like that, then they are going to presume you've got lots of money in it, which you may well not do, but, you know, they'll think that. So, no, if you're going to flaunt these things, don't be surprised if you're then a target. So, yeah, I don't ever have designer things. You know, very, very rarely will I look in a magazine and think, oh, that's nice, you know. And most of the time I just think, oh, they don't even look great on the models, you know. Never mind a normal person wearing them. So, yeah, the whole fashion industry, I think, is a bit of a joke. It's a bit of a con. And yeah, you don't need to spend thousands of pounds to look good. You really don't. You know, try and find what suits you, find your own style, you know, let your own personality shine through what you wear, find what suits your figure, you know, because, like, say the fashion for skinny jeans, you know, I mean, it was good for me because I've always been quite skinny, but, you know, for most people, or a lot of girls, and guys as well, they just look a bit silly, you know. Just realise what suits you and what doesn't suit you, you know, and there's always something that's flattering, you know, for every shape or size, you know. Just find what it is and, you know, go with that. So, yeah, don't be dictated to by the magazines and by these designer labels, which, like I say, normally the designs aren't even particularly nice, in my opinion. Anyway, sweetie darling, if it's not La Croix, then I don't like it. That's from Mad Fab, if you ever watched Mad Fab. So there's like one bit where it's her birthday, and Safi, her daughter, has got her some new earrings, and she's like, do you like them, Mummy? Do you like them? And she's like, well, are they La Croix? Are they La Croix? If I like them, if they're La Croix. And it's just, you know, that's how farcical the whole thing is. And she's like, yes, they are La Croix. Oh, I love them, I love them, I love them. But, you know, so what if they weren't? You know, it shouldn't be about that. And that's obviously how ridiculous the whole thing has got for some people. So, yeah, I just like genuinely nice clothes. It doesn't matter who makes them or how much they cost. So, mwah.